There's a couple of things that the GICHD study talks about. One is to walk the fire to the target, and another that indirect fire is often used en masse. Samuel mentioned both of those in his introduction. Could you tell us a little bit more about what exactly these mean and why they cause problems?
Okay, yeah. Look, thank you, Rich. I'll do it the other way around. I'll start with en masse, because I think it's important to understand that artillery systems, primarily when we use the term en masse, we're referring to artillery systems. And generally speaking, whether they're guns, rockets, or mortars, the majority of those systems are designed as area weapons. Almost the entirety of those systems are designed as area weapons, which means that they have a deliberate dispersion. So there's an intent in the design and the doctrine of the employment of these weapon systems to disperse the effects over a given target area, which has great military benefits. It means you can engage large concentrations of troops, vehicles, or whatever other targets you're looking for. But obviously, more projectiles or more munitions fired into an area increases the chance for collateral damage, assuming that there are civilians or civilian objects in that area. But also, it increases overlapping effects when these rounds are fired simultaneously or near simultaneously in rapid succession. It increases the potential for overlapping areas of effect, whether that's blast or fragmentation. I should say that that's not necessarily a problem in and of itself. It becomes very much a targeting issue and a question of positive target identification and matching the weapon to the target. And if you have a concentration of enemy troops in a legitimate target in an open desert or even a depopulated urban area, for example, then there may be arguments to be made. But certainly when targets are deep within populated, densely populated areas, there are some considerations which many militaries do take into consideration and some militaries do not. In terms of the challenges, I think you look at, there are solutions out there, precision-guided munitions, advanced fire control systems, GPS, for example, at the most basic level. A lot of those solutions are available to some militaries and not to others, but also a lot of them go against the core mission of artillery, which is always to provide this fire en masse. And so a single precision-guided munition as a fire mission is sort of at odds with the central philosophy of artillery historically. To speak about walking fire on, this is I think a misunderstood term. One method of adjusting fire, and Samuel mentioned bracketing or successive bracketing, where you're incrementally creeping towards a target, or perhaps you've shot long and then short and long and short and so on. It's not necessarily problematic inherently. In fact, if you have a target on an urban periphery, for example, it may be advisable to actually incrementally approach that target with your fire so that you don't overshoot and hit a civilian area. So I don't think that is necessarily problematic in and of itself. It's when you have less advanced militaries taking a sort of a pot shot at a general target area to get their bearings, maybe hitting whatever else is in the region, and then trying to sort of dial it in from there without having proper observers and proper feedback and data going back to the gunners. So I think walking fire onto a target sounds very troublesome, I think, perhaps to the layperson, but when it's understood, can be executed responsibly.